Hi, this is Casper Van Dien, and this is the Screen One interview. Everyone watches, no one quits. If you don't do your job, I'll shoot you myself.
I need the full story, the real story.
They don't want you to know anything. This is going to shatter any idea you have about reality.
Drive.
Ready?
Hello and welcome to the latest edition of the Screen One interview. And today it is my great pleasure to be introducing not only the star of the latest movie, Monsters of California, but also one of my favorite films of all time, Starship Troopers. It is Mr. Casper Van Dien. Hello, how are you, sir?
Ooh, hey Matt, good man. How are you doing?
I am all the better for seeing you, that's for sure. So
Oh,
thank you for
thank you.
joining us on the interview today. So we'll crack straight in. So you're starring this new film, Monsters of California. So what was it that drew you to it? Was it the script, the concept, or even the chance of working with Tom?
Tom DeLonge.
Yeah.
Tom DeLonge, I was so excited about it, and he was so passionate about it. He's like, I really want you for this. And then he started talking about everything. He goes, a lot of the dialogue in this is dialogue that hasn't been, it's not been released yet. It's still, confidential, and and a lot of the footage is. He would then send me a video of like the Tic Tac from that hadn't been released from one of the UFOs. He goes, you can't show this to anybody. He'd text it to me, and I'd be like, what is he doing? And then like 2 years later, it was released, and I was like, I saw that 2 years ago, and I had the text from Tom, and I was like, it was just so exciting for me because he was so passionate about describing it, saying it's going to be like, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Steven Spielberg, Stranger Things, and my music. And I'm just, he was so into it. And his passion was exciting, invigorating. And then he would get inspired by the young kids in this. He goes, these kids were improv today, doing this and this. He'd be he was just, it was a joy to be around. And then he'd also, in the scene, when we're directing, oh my God, let me get into this real quick. He'd be directing a scene, he'd have his he'd come up to me and go, Casper, in this scene, and he'd take one of the earplugs out and he'd go, you're going to be saying this, and then this is going to come in, and you're going to say this, and then, and then this, you're going to say this. So he directed each scene musically, which was so fascinating every day. This is what he did with me. Every scene, and now, and then this scene, this is what's going to be playing in the background. And then I'm going to cut to this. And I was like, so fascinating that he had, of course, he's thinking about it this way. He's a musical genius, but, and then he's talking about all the confidentiality that these things were said at the Pentagon, hadn't been released yet. It was all confidential, and he had to get a special release for it to be out. He was just, dude, what an experience. I mean, you live for these moments. I love being around very creative directors. I love Verhoeven. I loved Robert Rodriguez and his passion. I love Tim Burton. I love to be around these people that are just so good at what they do. And then having Tom be in that was just another one of those experiences for me because he just was so interesting, just an interesting way for him to direct and be around and so creative.
So he's best known for music, obviously, with Blink 182. So what was the vibe like on set? Was it kind of, I mean, you've kind of gone across it there a little bit, but what was the actual whole vibe like in the building?
He just was passionate the whole time. He was very, he was very thorough in what he did, and he was so excited. And he's like, "This is gonna be this, and this is gonna." He was, I mean, he was just a big kid, and he believes passionately in all the, his alien information, and he's just a big dreamer and all that, and wants the truth to be told, and wants things to be out, and it's just magical. It's great to be around that kind of energy. It was a, of course, we were at the end of COVID, so we were still going through having to get tested and wearing
Mm.
masks on set, and so we were still figuring all that out, which was another step we had to take in the acting process at that time, which we're not doing anymore. But it was something that was we were in the throes of it then, so we also had that going on, which was challenging, but still another story to be told and shared on sets and talked about.
Yeah. So you kind of just almost touched on it there. So the film deals with conspiracy and aliens and the unknown. Is that stuff you believe in yourself? Is that something you could bring to the set?
You know, I I'm a big fan of alien shows, and and I'm a big want to believe in all these things. I've always wanted to believe in Sasquatch and Bigfoot. I mean, I saw the majors, $6 million man with Bigfoot, and you're just like, oh my God. And then I also believe in literature and reading and education, and that if we think we know it all, then we're ignorant, and
Mm.
we need to explore the things that we don't understand. We didn't even know there were dinosaurs 200 years ago, which is something, we can say, oh, there's no such thing as these things, and there's your dinosaur, there's your dragons, there's your Loch Ness monster right there. So there are truths to stories, and to believe in things that were bigger than us. There's giants and different, uh, you know, there's a lot of things we don't know and don't understand. So yes, I am a believer in things because I want to know more, and I get excited about it. I'm just curious, and I want to be open-minded to things. Theories can be dangerous, I believe, but only when they get you to not read or learn about science, or get you to be close-minded. I think if you're open-minded and you're still like, well, but I do believe in science. I do believe in educating, and don't I want to be open-minded. I want to know more. Always want to know more.
Yeah. So your character in the film, how would you describe him? And how much fun was it stepping into those shoes for the film?
It's always a thrill to play a military guy for me. I grew up in a military family. Still,
Mm.
some of the classic roles that I get to do that are, and also that, he said these were things that were classified, hadn't been declassified statements that were actually said in meetings. And he goes, look, you don't know, this is actually something that was said in this meeting. It hasn't been declassified yet. And I think it was later when we were releasing the movie, it was declassified, some of the stuff. But so for me, that's always fascinating. And he introduced me to his brother, a guy that he grew up with that was a military guy, and he had some real military people in the set. So that's always a thrill for me. I love being able to be in this because I love playing the character, and the guy that was directing me, his excitement, his enthusiasm, and some of the people I got to work with. So just a thrill.
Yeah. So Blink 182 fans obviously are flocking to this movie, but what do you think your sci-fi fans will take away from it?
Well, you know, it, everybody takes their own opinions. When I was filming that last scene, it felt very much like, uh, you know, there were Steven Spielberg-esque moments for me, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Ash at the end, there's Stranger Things, even have I just I hope people get excited about it, and enjoy it for the moments, and that are there in it, and Tom's passion, and the you know the dialogue that he he was so, he's like, you don't know, this was said and it was classified, and I had to get it declassified. I didn't get it declassified, but I had to get approval for it to be said. So I was like, whatever that means. I was like, okay, cool. I was like, he was just so, he believed in it, and that to me was just, when you have somebody that is that passionate, it's just, as an actor, it just makes your job so much easier. And then him coming back, being inspired by these young kids, what they were improvising and having fun. I've been that young kid, and now I'm not. And so when there's other ones that are that now doing that, that's always fun. And when he's just, having a blast with him, it's just fun.
It's fun. Excellent. So moving on to Starship Troopers, which I would, I wouldn't be happy with myself if I did not ask you about this. So
I'm from Buenos Aires, and I say kill them all! Yeah! Oh, yeah!
We are going in with first wave. Kill anything that has more than two legs. You get me? We get you, son.
They're just like us. They want to know what makes us tick. They want to know us so they can kill.
To fight the bug, we must understand the bug.
it's over 25 years later since that amazing film came out, which is still a cult classic. So what keeps people coming back to it?
It's 28 years old, and I know that
Yeah.
because my daughter is 28. She's turning 29 this year, and she was born during it.
Wow.
So that's how old that movie is. And so I think it's because Paul Verhoeven and Ed Neumeyer, they're geniuses. The satire in that film They said it was subtle, and at the time I go, this isn't subtle. And then when it went over the heads of the people in America, a lot of them over there, I had to come back to them and go, I guess you guys are right, it's subtle, but it's a shame. How do people not get this? I go over to England and they had it plastered. War, it's war, movie posters all over through the tubes and the tunnels and everything. Like that sense of humor they got 100%. And I was like, oh my God. I have kids come up to me now at cons right now and they go, I heard in an interview that you said that people didn't get this when it first came out. And I go, there's no way they didn't get it. I go, you guys have the internet now, and the people that did get it, and now there's a lot of study. And then unfortunately, the political climate is even more, it has more to do with it today now than it even did back then, which is just shocking because back then it was just like, oh my God. But I go, but yes, they didn't. Some people didn't get it. So I think it's because it's such an intelligent film. Paul Verhoeven is he's a genius, a mad genius, and he's so smart. Uh, it just that film, he fought for it tooth and nail and was so passionate about it. And it's sometimes, I would be in the scene, I'd be like, he'd be like, no, trust me, because I'd be like, Paul, no, trust me, this is great. And I'd be like, Paul Verhoeven, it's Paul Verhoeven, RoboCop. And he's right. And sometimes I would second guess it even at the time because I felt like it was a little too on the nose,
Yeah,
and then but that's part of the brilliance of him. He's an incredible filmmaker, and it's something that I did the voiceover for the last two games. I did the voiceover for the last movie, and now I'm a general in it. And I play the game. I stream it on Twitch as Casper Van Dien. I stream a 16-person shooter. And I go out and I kill bugs with all these young people, and they're doing quotes from the movie. And they're like, I can't believe I'm doing this with you. And it's so much fun for me because people still love this. They come to me at cons or they meet me. I do an interview for another movie. I'm always talking about Starship Troopers. And I was at the gas station. This guy just stopped me. He goes, I seen you around. I've tried to stop you. I want to talk to you, tell you I love that movie, what it means to me and my son. And I was at a gas station just yesterday. And I'm like, thank you.
so, so did you realize it was going to be this big when you signed on to it?
Well, I thought it would be bigger.
Mm.
And then when I saw the movie, I thought it was going to be a breakout hit. I just thought, oh my God, this is it. I'm going to have the biggest career in the whole world. I'm going to be like Luke Skywalker or Harrison Ford or whatever it is. I'm going to be, this is huge. I was shocked that it wasn't being as well received at first. I was really like, wow, in America. And then, and then that it's had legs that we're still talking about it 28 years later, to me is like, wow, that's still pretty something. That's something special. There's something
Brilliant.
special about the film. So
What's your favorite scene in Starship Troopers?
wow, there's a lot of different ones that are my favorite scenes. It depends on the day and the moment,
You
but
have to
probably
choose one. That's you're only
wow.
allowed.
Well, okay. Well, there'd be the probably the day where we had 1,400 extras, which
Hmm.
was a lot of the days, but it was at nighttime and it was the Klendathu drop. So all
Yep.
the drop ships come. And we had the bottom of the drop ships. We didn't have the top, but we had 1,400 extras running, 30 actors running, 30 stuntmen running, the
Mm.
258 crew, the 120 second unit crew, all the visual effects people coming in and all the explosions going off and all of us 30 of us actors firing live blanks and 30 stunt guys firing that and then all the other um the extras just with rubber weapons but it's a lot of firepower. I would say that was pretty epic, and just looking behind camera seeing Paul Verhoeven behind the camera, Ed Newmeyer behind the camera, the writer of RoboCop, the director of RoboCop, and then John Davison, the producer of RoboCop, and then Phil Tippett, the visual guy behind RoboCop, the genius, and thinking, wait a minute, Peter Weller was number one on his call sheet, and I'm number one on this one. I'm Murphy, and I'd buy that for $1.
Nice segue. Yeah, so there's been talk for years about possibly rebooting Starship Troopers. So if they were to reboot it, who should take on the role of Johnny Rico?
You know, that depends on what they write and how they write it.
Mm.
because I know Neil Baumgart is supposed to be doing it, and I know, you know, however they do it, if they do it more towards the book, it'd be interesting, I guess. I can't see past it now. People go in the book, Juanito Rico is a Filipino Buenos Airian.
Mm.
Now, people go, wow, they miscast that. I go, well, no, that's what Verhoeven was going for.
Yeah.
100%. I know what I am. I know what I look like, and I know what he was trying to say. And I went to military school with a lot of blonde hair, blue-eyed guys from South America, and I know where they actually really came from. So I know what he was trying to say, and he got it. He got his point across pretty well, I think, even with some of the uniforms coming out being blatant. Um, it's a pretty profound statement. If they did it right now, I don't know. My daughter Grace says I think I should be Johnny Rico, and I'm like, oh, interesting. So, it'd be like, it depends on what they do. I mean,
Yeah.
if they went, I don't know, and I think they should do it Old Man Rico,
Absolutely.
and
Bring the
and I'm
old
willing,
guys back.
and
That's what
I know exactly who should be Johnny Rico then.
Yeah. So, so far, you've had a very wide-ranging career from cult, sci-fi, indie dramas, family-friendly stuff. What kind of roles excite you the most?
Oh, always the next one.
Mm.
But I love my favorite genre is always westerns. I love
Oh,
being on
okay.
horses. I love riding horses. I love doing that. I did a western just last year that just came out. It's called Guns of Redemption, and I got to be a cowboy in that, and I got to ride a horse all around. That's always fun for me. But I just love being on set. I love being around the magic of it and the creative people. I love being on set with Tim Burton. I love being on set with, when you get to be around these people and you see the talent that they have and their enthusiasm and their range and the Tom DeLonge's and all the different experiences you're having with this. It's always magical for me. I think I feel more alive when I'm on set and because I'm doing exactly what I love.
Mm.
And Starship Troopers for me, people have come up to me for 28 years now, and they've told me different stories. And I have guys come up and go, I joined the military because of you. And sometimes I go, thank you, and sometimes I go, oh, I'm sorry. And either way, I get a laugh out of it from both of them. But I've had a guy come up to me, and he said, this is 2 cons ago. He said, "Hey Casper, I just want to tell you, me and my best friend, we grew up, we saw Starship Troopers, we went and I got our haircut to be like Johnny Rico. We both joined up the Marine Corps to be because of you. We wanted to be you. We wore your patch on the Death from Above on our uniform. We had your flag on our Jeep out in in Afghanistan. We were full on, biggest Starship Troopers fans. And so I had to come here. I had to meet you. I had to tell you that this is the biggest thrill for me to come meet Johnny Rico, and you're the reason why I joined and became a Marine." And I go, and I knew my friend would have loved it, but he didn't make it back.
Wow.
So you get a story like that, and you're sitting there, and you're like, you're overwhelmed because this guy is telling you they both signed up because of you, and that his friend didn't make it back, but
Mm.
that he still comes to meet you because he's overwhelmed and wants to do this. So you honor him and you say, "I really wish I could have met your friend, and thank you so much. Thank you for your service." And you have a powerful statement from that. Now I make a movie just because I'm an actor and that's what I do. But then you have
Mm.
to also know that in this moment, somebody's going to come up and share this at this time and this moment for them is theirs. And no matter what's going on with you, whatever's happening in your life, you have to be present for them in this because they're going to tell you something that's going to affect them. And it has nothing to do with me being an actor, but everything to do with their experience and time and something
Mm.
that I get to share with them. So if you have something profound like that that happens to somebody, whatever it is, sometimes it's just that's the last movie I saw with my dad. A girl come up to me and said that, and he died, and I finally got to connect with him over the sense of humor and that. You have all these different things, so you're sitting there going, "Wow, you have a different responsibility there." And that's just to be a kind person and to hear them and to experience it, and then be grateful that you can hear their story.
Yeah, that's amazing. So, what's a film in your career that you think, other than the obvious, deserves more attention than it got?
Wow. More attention than it got. Sometimes I would say Tarzan.
Mm.
Sometimes I would say the little Johnny Cage that I got to play in the web series. Sometimes I would say the Salvage Marines that I got to do, which was, but I would say Maybe Daughter, maybe a movie
Mhm.
called Daughter that I
Yeah,
did, even Mad Heidi was kind of crazy,
yeah,
insane.
it's a
And
great
then,
movie.
oh, thank you. That was a lot of fun to do. Those guys were huge Starship Troopers fans, obviously.
Uh,
Um, and then the Western I get to do. I but it's other than the obvious, I'm still going to say Starship Troopers because I think
mm,
it's a more brilliant film than what it's gotten credit for. Even though the people that come out and say it is, I think that it is. Paul Verhoeven is an incredible filmmaker. It's an incredible film to watch, and it's aged so well, and it's still relevant. So I think that when you can make something like that that gets people from the left and the right talking, discussing, claiming it's their film and why or whatever it is, but having a discussion about it, I think that's a brilliant kind of
mm,
film. And when you can do something like that, I could say many other films that I've liked or whatever, but I've been on sets. Even the Western, when I talk about that Western,
mm.
I show up one day, everybody has Rico's roughneck shirts on. I'm in a Western costume, and they all want to do the crew picture with them all wearing Rico's roughneck shirts. So there's 30, 60 people in Rico's roughneck shirts on a Western set. And because I did that movie 28 years ago, we're doing that. And so it's definitely that movie.
Yeah, yeah. And at this point, I would like to point out to people, if you get the chance to see Daughter and Mad Heidi, do it. You won't regret it, trust me. Anyway, segueing again. So aliens invade Earth tomorrow. What do you do? Do you fight, flee, or try and negotiate?
Well, I mean, you're telling me what are they doing? What kind of invasion is it? Now, is it an invasion where we're being
Hostile.
occupied? Oh, it's a hostile invasion.
Yeah,
Oh, I fight.
yeah.
I fight. I fight. But I'm that way. I try to do whatever I could do to protect the people around me and put them in a place where they'd be the safest I could be. I'm very much uh somebody that would want to protect. So maybe it's a retreating fight, but whatever to be, it'd be to try to protect the people that need the most protection around me, and that would be my elderly parents, my wife, my animals, and any of my children that I could that that would be closest and near. But I would definitely want to make sure that everybody else was okay.
Oh, amazing answer. Okay, so these are quick fire questions, by the way. So, what's the sci-fi movie you wished you'd been in?
Like all-time sci-fi film that you wish you'd be in?
Whatever you want to pick.
Well, I'm in the movie that I'd want to be in. But if I had a choice of another ones, it would definitely have been Star Wars.
Perfect. Okay, if Johnny Rico had a TikTok, what would be his first post?
Well, I have a stream and a Discord, but they're all about the Starship Troopers video games and the movies.
Mm.
So it would be something about that. I know TikTok is a lot of the dancing thingies that you
Can be,
do.
yeah. All
I
the
have no
kids are
idea.
into it, so clearly I'm
All
too
it
old.
takes, it would do some. It would be something Starship Troopers-esque. It would definitely be something Starship. I mean, I'm all about that. I'll be honest. I love it. People go, "How do you ever get sick of it?" And I go, "No, it's the greatest thrill of my life." People, no matter what's going on in my life, even if I've had a death or somebody's hurt or something going on, somebody comes up and talks to me, I still give them that attention because I do see the importance of it for them in that moment because this is their one chance to talk to me. Like, I don't know. So if I had a TikTok, which I don't, it would be all about Starship Troopers.
Perfect. Who'd win in a fight? Johnny
Hmm.
Rico or your Monsters of California character Myers?
Johnny Rico.
And finally, what is next for Casper Van Dien and when we're going to see him again?
Well, I have something that I did an NDA for, and when it comes out, you're gonna be like, "Wow, why didn't he tell me?"
Yeah.
But I can't. So I have that. I also have a series called Dope Series where I play, I play kind of I don't know, the mayor of the town or whatever it is, the commissioner or whatever it is. But you'll have to see that's Dope Unit. That's coming out soon. I have uh, that's a whole series, and then I have the Western that's out right now. You could see, which is kind of like a throwback Western, and I love it. And I
Mhm.
really it has Sean Astin in it and Jeff Fahey, so it's pretty cool. It's like a classic Western. And then people they can come join me in the game if they want to kill some bugs with me and Starship Troopers Extermination and come on my Twitch and watch me stream. and play.
What is your Twitch address, just in case?
Casper Van Dien.
Perfect. Perfect. Well,
Yeah.
we've run out of time, so this has been an absolutely fantastic interview. Thank you very much, Casper,
Oh,
for being on the Screen One interview.
thanks,
Hopefully,
Matt.
we'll see you again soon when this NDA gets released and you can tell us what it is. Blink twice if it's Marvel. Um,
It's not Marvel. It's not
okay,
Marvel. I can tell you it's not Marvel.
okay.
That'd be a cool thing too. That'd be a cool thing
Yeah.
too to be a Marvel guy. But one of my biggest thrills is I'll tell you this, even though we're over and we'll just go over anyhow. Um, in 2000, I was being pitched. Well, I had agents, I had big agents at the time, but I'm no longer with them. But they had me go to meet three different writers, and I met the three different writers, and they're like, "We want you to pick one writer to do a series for you." And so one of the three writers was uh, a little known writer named Stan Lee.
Mm.
And Stan Lee pitched me an incredible story. He's like, "What's your name?" And I'm like, "Casper Van Dien." He goes, "That Casper, that's a great name." I go, "What's my father's name and his father's and his father's?" He goes, "What's your grandfather's name?" I go, Casper Anson. He goes, "What was his father?" Casper Force. He goes, "Okay, your character's Anson Force." And I was like, "Oh my God." So it's just brilliant. So I wanted to go with him, but the agents at the time didn't want me to go with him. They wanted me to go with these younger guys because they thought Stan Lee was out of touch and these younger guys were more hip. And I was like, "You guys are fired." I literally fired him.
Yeah,
I'm not even kidding.
ruined the rest
And
of my career. Yes.
I don't even care. I was like, I can't even believe you just said that. But the greatest thrill for me was as I was leaving, Stan Lee said to me, he goes, "I want you to just know something." This is in 2000, okay? He goes, "If they ever made a Captain America movie, you'd be the perfect Captain America." And I go, "Oh my God, Stan Lee just said that to me." Now, Chris Evans won it hands down, and he's it for life, whatever, and he's great. I never even got to audition for it, but Stan Lee did say that to me in 2000, and I thought, that's it. I just could die happy now.
Yeah, exactly. You can't get much better than that, can you?
The man himself said it to me, so that was an epic moment for me.
Amazing, amazing. So once again, thank you very much for your time, Casper.
Thank you.
And hopefully we will see you again soon.
Thanks, Matt.
Goodbye,
Take care.
everybody.
Bye.